Start the clock.
Mr. Darcy, allow me to present this young lady to you.
Thinking, just thinking of my sweetheart, just thinking of a new life. Get in the car!
Who are you?
Give me what I want, and I'll go away. What's your name?
The 1990s were a golden age for television miniseries, bringing us gripping dramas, historical epics, spooky adaptations, and unforgettable characters. Today we're looking back at 12 of the most memorable TV miniseries from the decade, ones that kept audiences glued to their screens and chatting about them at work or school the next day. Be sure to stay till the end, because the last two on this list are the gold standard for 90s miniseries events, in my opinion. Let's dive in. Starting off with the first of many Stephen King adaptations on this list, The Langoliers. This underrated, overlooked offering from 1995 about a group of airplane passengers who may be the last people left on Earth is definitely worth a look for two reasons. One, it's creepy subject matter, and two, Bronson Pinchot's off-the-wall performance as Craig Toomey, an unhinged Wall Street worker. Now granted, I was a little bit disappointed when I actually saw The Langoliers at the end, but other than that, as someone who read the story it was based on, I enjoyed it. Sticking with the creepy vibe, next we have The Intruders. This 1992 two-part miniseries about alien abductions scared the heck out of me, particularly this one scene that still gives me goosebumps.
Operator?
Yeah, there's a phone company truck outside my window here, and it's making a lot of noise. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, for God's sake.
The business office is closed, ma'am. It opens at 9 a.m. I can give you the number if you wish to lodge a complaint.
Number 3 is Gulliver's Travels. It took audiences on a fantastical journey in this Emmy-winning adaptation of Jonathan Swift's classic tale. Starring Ted Danson as Gulliver, the miniseries balanced adventure with biting satire, bringing to life strange lands like Lilliput and Brobdingnag with impressive visual effects for its time. Next is the BBC offering Pride and Prejudice from 1995. Fans of classic literature, Pride and Prejudice must have been a dream come true. This BBC adaptation, starring Colin Firth as the brooding Mr. Darcy and Jennifer Eel as Elizabeth Bennet, they brought Jane Austen's timeless romance to life with wit, charm, and breathtaking period detail. Airing in the UK on BBC and here in the States on A&E, the series became a cultural phenomenon with Firth's famous lake scene going down in television history. I thought that was from Love, actually. Anyway, to date, it remains one of the best-loved adaptations of Jane Austen's work. Number 5, the Lonesome Dove trilogy, knocking off 3 movies in one here. Because looking to capitalize on the groundbreaking 1989 original miniseries, 3 separate Lonesome Dove series were produced in the 90s. First came Return to Lonesome Dove in 1993. It's a sequel to the 89 miniseries, but it was not written by Larry McMurtry, so a lot of fans don't consider it canon. McMurtry instead wrote and published his own sequel novel, Streets of Laredo. That series debuted in 1995 and completely ignores the events of Return to Lonesome Dove. Finally, there's the Larry McMurtry penned Dead Man's Walk. This is a prequel story, and it came out in 1996, starring David Arquette as Augustus McCrae and Johnny Lee Miller as Woodrow F. Call. Now, while all 3 miniseries have their moments, they don't compare to the 1989 original. Sorry, but I guess without Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Duvall, it's just not Lonesome Dove. Now for a criminally underrated series, Stephen King's masterpiece, Storm of the Century. Unlike other King adaptations, this was actually a script written for TV. The story follows a small island town hit by a brutal blizzard, only to be terrorized by a mysterious stranger who knows all the darkest secrets. Chilling, suspenseful, and full of psychological horror. Give me what I want and I'll go away. Spoiler, he wants your children. Next on the list is a miniseries that I remember a lot of people my age in school were talking about. The Jacksons: An American Dream. This biographical miniseries chronicles the rise of the Jackson family, from their humble beginnings in Gary, Indiana, to global superstardom. It follows patriarch Joe Jackson's strict discipline, Michael and his siblings' early struggles, and their eventual success as the Jackson Five. The series also explores the personal and professional challenges the family faced, including fame, relationships, and internal conflicts. From Earth to the Moon. Produced by Tom Hanks, this Emmy-winning HBO miniseries dramatizes NASA's Apollo program, from its inception to the final moon landing. Each episode focuses on different aspects of the space race, including the astronauts, engineers, and politicians who made it possible. The miniseries blends historical accuracy with compelling storytelling. It offers a gripping look at one of humanity's greatest achievements. But if you're not in the mood for a long miniseries, you could always watch Apollo 13 again. Next is a documentary I didn't come to appreciate till I was an adult. It's the sports documentary Ken Burns' Baseball from 1994. This 9-part miniseries by Ken Burns explores the rich history of baseball, from its origins in the 19th century to the modern era. Featuring archival footage, interviews, and narration, it examines key figures, legendary moments, and the sport's impact on American culture. The series also delves into issues like race, labor strikes, and the evolution of the game over time. If you're a fan of baseball and you watch that now, it definitely brings back a nostalgic feeling when they show the early stuff. Next we have The Last Don, based on a novel by the same guy that wrote The Godfather, Mario Puzo. This crime drama miniseries follows the Claricuzio family as they navigate power struggles within the mafia. The story spans decades, exploring the intersection of organized crime, Hollywood, and personal ambition. It features Danny Aiello and Joe Mantegna in lead roles. Now, let's dive into the gold standard of 90s miniseries. I think the key to a good miniseries is it has to feel like an event, and the final 2 films on my list definitely did, starting with The Stand in 1994. This adaptation of Stephen King's The Stand brought an apocalyptic vision to life. After a deadly virus wipes out most of humanity, survivors must choose between good and evil in a battle for the future of the world. With a star-studded cast including Gary Sinise, Molly Ringwald, and Rob Lowe, this 4-part miniseries was both thrilling and chilling. And lastly, number 1 on my list happens to be my favorite miniseries of all time. By the master of horror himself, Stephen King, it's It. Based on the iconic horror novel, this 2-part miniseries terrified audiences in 1990. Tim Curry's Pennywise will always be the gold standard for Gen Xers, I think. I mean, the performance was legendary, and it definitely haunted viewers for decades. The story follows a group of kids, the Losers Club, as they battle an ancient, shape-shifting evil in their small town, only to face it again as adults. Creepy, atmospheric, and unforgettable, this adaptation remains a horror TV classic. But I gotta admit, the next day in school, after part 2, a lot of us kids were a little disappointed about the spider reveal. But hey, looking back on it, it was kind of perfect. And there you have it, some of the most unforgettable miniseries from the 1990s. Which one was your favorite? Did we miss any that you actually love? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you'd like to watch my deep dive on 80s miniseries, I'll link that in the description. That's available on my profile page. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into nostalgic history.